Did you call him the child? Did you call the child a word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Okay, so the actions of this young mother here have sent the internet into a freaking meltdown.
1,000 monkeys working at 1,000 typewriters.
And as ever, as you would imagine on the internet, the comment sections are filled to the brim with extremely opposed, ill-informed, semi-literate opinions.
It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times.
So it looks like it's down to Muggins here to restore some order, goddammit.
You stupid monkey!
A little bit more of a nuanced and balanced approach to this. Let's get into the video.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
Two recent stories in the US have laid bare the shocking levels of racial division in American society, amplified by extreme and viral takes on social media. 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony is a black teenager charged with stabbing a white boy to death at a school track meeting in April. More than $600,000 in donations have poured in, not for the victim's grieving family, but for his alleged killer. Last week, Shiloh Hendrix went viral after a video showed the young mother racially abusing a 5-year-old, allegedly for stealing from her young child.
All right, I'm going to have to stop right there because this is the most sickening thing about this whole Shiloh Hendrix fiasco, if you ask me. The fact that people are comparing her fundraiser, her Pay Send Go page, to Karmelo Anthony's Pay Send Go page and noting how much both of them are raising as though these were the same things, okay? On the one hand, you've got a woman who, yeah, in all fairness, not her finest hour, not something I would want to be remembered for, screaming the N-word at a small child in a park. You know, God willing, that will not be my legacy. You've got her on the one hand, and then you've got Karmelo Anthony, a guy who at a track meet walked into the wrong tent, was asked to leave, refused to leave, and stabbed another kid in the heart. Now, I don't know what you think. I don't know what's going on in your head, but how much of an absolute coward do you have to be to make any kind of false equivalence of that level? Okay? I am sick to death of jellyfish grifter people like Piers Morgan, right? He really gets on my tits sometimes because it's like he puts his tentacles out there, you know, about a subject to see what's going on and gets a feel, you know, he uses his gaydar to get a sense of where the water's going, you know, which way is the wind blowing. And then he gives his hot take. Actually, it's not appropriate what she did. Yes, we get it. All right? It's not great to go around screaming the N-word, but it ain't stabbing someone in the heart, okay? Can we please get some perspective?
Call him a child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child a word? All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody digging into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him
Yeah.
the little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old.
Well, as you can see, Hendrix doesn't deny using the slur. In fact, she repeats it many times. That's all the stuff is bleeped out. When a bystander in the park follows her with his smartphone. Hendrix set up a fundraiser on the same website as Karmelo Anthony's supporters, on which she wrote, "I called the kid out for what he was."
Okay, so not a great deal of remorse coming from Shiloh, and that is the main criticism I would have of her, because you could play any angle on this. You know, you could say I was having a bad day, I was off my meds, I lost control because the kid was really doing something terrible, and I'm ashamed of that, but I'm setting up a Pay Send Go page because the people are ruining my life and I need to get out of this neighborhood, which is what she's saying. But then to say I called him out for what he is, you know, that sounds a little too prideful for me. I don't think if there were a video of myself circulating online anywhere, of me berating a 5-year-old, calling them anything, you know, a cunt, for example, I don't think I would then boast about it, you know?
I mean, what's your take on this?
There are a couple of things that were said that I think are really interesting and important. One, there is an outside audience of people who are watching all of this and opportunistically using it for their own agendas and projects. You know, I have an investment in believing X, so I'm going to jump in the comments of this GoFundMe, etc. I have an investment in Y, I'm going to do the same thing. But what I don't want to do is compare these two things as if they're opposite sides of the same coin. For me, the intention of the campaign matters. In the case of this woman who is using the N-word, the woman isn't disputing using the N-word. The woman isn't disputing being racist. And the comments that are being left on the site before they were suspended and the attitudes behind it weren't saying she's being railroaded, she's being misrepresented. They were simply saying, we support racism. And I think that's disgusting, no matter who's doing it. On the other hand, the people who are fundraising for Karmelo Anthony, the argument here isn't, yeah, we did something and we don't care, like the other woman.
The tedium of willful blindness. Really, there was no racism in the comments under the Karmelo Anthony fundraiser. No. It was an egg and spoon race. A high school sock hop.
Hey, to all of the people who are against Karmelo Anthony, me as a black man in America, white people, I'm telling you and I'm telling you now, you ever even think to approach me, bully me, harass me, think you're going to be with your twin brother or twin whatever, and do anything to me, I too will poke you as well. Straight to the heart.
The argument is we're being misrepresented here. We're being railroaded. This was a self-defense claim. This is not an act of violence. This isn't first-degree murder. I'm saying what they're saying. This isn't my argument. They're saying this is a first-degree murder claim that is wrong. This is actually self-defense, and we need the money to make sure that we get a fair trial. I think, and so whether you agree with his argument or not, I think raising money for a fair trial is different than raising money for a racist.
And that's on self-defense. This is not the Jim Crow era. This ain't 400 years ago. This ain't 1619. This ain't back in them days. Y'all don't want to end up like Austin. Leave black people alone. Y'all didn't play fair for 400 years. We ain't playing fair with y'all either.
Well, either this guy just really, really believes in the right to a fair trial, or I would say he seems to have a bit of a dislike for, you know, certain people of a particular group of immutable characteristics. Look, on my X feed at least, in the days following the Austin Metcalf, Karmelo Anthony kerfuffle, there were many examples, many such cases of people like this fine young gentleman here that you just saw espousing similar sentiments. You know, they seem to immediately hate the slain Austin Metcalf. I can't think why. It's absolutely insane to me that you could ignore that, right? That you didn't see that. You really believe that the people in the comments of the Shiloh Hendrix fundraiser are just evil racists, and all of the people, or the majority of the people in the Karmelo Anthony fundraiser, they're just obsessed with the idea that people get a fair trial. Really? You think that, do you dickhead?
This is a disgusting racist woman who repeatedly spews the M-word, first at a young child and then at the person taking the video of her, does it with complete impunity, does it numerous times. We are talking about a bona fide, unquestionable racist. She's just a racist. But you want to support a white racist?
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in a country.
No, that's fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what you say. She is. I mean, would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would.
I do quite frequently.
Look at Piers Morgan's face. I know that face. Okay, how am I going to put this? I understand that a lot of you have been taught from a young age that that word can never be said, okay? And it's like, to me, it's similar to the R word, isn't it? Sometimes when I've said retard in my videos, I get comments under the video saying, my son has learning disabilities. Yes, but I didn't go to your son and go, retard, in his face, did I? Do you understand? It's not okay to go and scream the N-word at a black person. However, the fact that you might have said it from time to time is no big deal. And people just can't get it out of their head. It's something they were told when they were young. And it's like, it's just, if somebody says that, there's a whole judgment about their character, their personality, their beliefs. And, you need to cut some people some slack.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the N-word repeatedly, you are a racist then, are you? Are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendrix is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Karmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N-word regularly. In what context? Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate?
When would it be appropriate? When they're being... No, of course not. You can't say that. And I absolutely understand that it sounds awful, right? It's like when you lose your temper with a fat person and you call them a fat C-U-N-T, You right? You should never happen. And yes, I guess that there's a good argument to be made there of... the historical perils of fatties are not the same as those of the black man. However,
when would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So you're an unashamed racist.
Correct.
Well, that's refreshingly honest, I guess, you could say. I just love watching the reaction of Piers Morgan because, of course, to someone like Piers Morgan who came up when he came up, over the last 20, 30 years, the worst thing that can happen to someone in the public eye was to be accused of being racist or homophobic or something like that.
I'm not saying that you're a racist, but what
are you saying?
Do you know what I honestly feel? Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not my
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical.
Because the world's so divided and crazy now that it doesn't matter. It's actually even better that you get accused of being something extreme now if all you're looking for is followers, because there are whole niches all over the internet looking to claim you as one of their own. And so the harder you go, almost the better it is. What a lovely time to be alive.
But the bigger issue here, I think, is that this idea of equating of one side to the other side often loses track of this issue of power. To use as example, when black people stand up and say, hey, let's build our own stuff. Hey, let's have a black power movement. That is not the same as a white power. I'll let you speak uninterrupted. Let me finish, please, my Sudanese brother. So when a black person says, hey, let's preserve our culture, I have no problem with Italians or Irish people or anyone else saying, let's preserve our culture. But when we don't talk about ethnicity, but actual race, and when white people say, let's preserve whiteness, it's an exclusionary practice. It's about preserving laws and practices and tactics that do harm to other people. A black power movement was about opening stores and building businesses. A white power movement was a white power. A white power movement was about something very, 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 very different. A white power movement included lynchings and included Ku Klux Klan, etc. So let's not pretend that these are opposite sides of the same coin. When white people say, let's save our country, and even using the language of our country, when black people built this thing, when you say that, you're talking about forcing people out of the country. You're talking about laws that discriminate. You're talking about doing harm to people. Let's not pretend these are the same thing, just like these GoFundMe campaigns are not the same thing. I'm okay if everybody gets out of the GoFundMe industrial complex. I'd love that. But let's not pretend that supporting someone for a fair trial is the same thing as supporting a grown white woman berating and calling the N-word to a 5-year-old autistic black child. And the fact that everyone in here can't be unanimous in condemning that says exactly how they're not the same.
I totally agree.
I totally agree. Yeah, you totally agree, do you? Yeah? Great. Okay, all right. So the people donating to Karmelo Anthony, their heart's in the right place. There's no hate there. Okay. You know, I could steel man the people donating to Shiloh Hendrix. It's very easy. You could just say, I'm a free speech absolutist and this woman doesn't deserve to have her life ruined because she'll never be able to get a job again. She can't live in the neighborhood where she's living. So I think she needs help getting a fresh start. I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just saying it'd be very easy to steel man that. A lot easier, I think, than to reach as far as those idiots have into defending Karmelo Anthony. Oh no, it's just we really believe in fair trials. Sure, you don't just hate. I'm repeating myself. Let's get a closing statement from. Let's face it, the best member of this panel.
I'm going to go to Lily Gaddis and just ask you one more time. I mean, you've been so unashamedly proud of being a racist today, proud of using the N-word whenever you feel like it. You've had a bit of time to think about this. Is that how you want people to leave this panel debate, with thinking of you as a disgusting racist?
I don't really care what people think about me. As long as you care about what people think about you, you have no power and you lose your country. What I care about is freedom of speech. And if you're not allowed to say the most offensive things in this country, you do not have freedom of speech. I don't care what anybody says. So that's the main crux of this situation. That's what I care about with this situation. It is, we have lived for far too long in a country where you can have your life destroyed. And people say, oh, she doesn't need this money. Her life's destroyed, by the way. She'll never be able to get another job. She's got children to have to support. And I don't want to live in a country where you can say an inappropriate, rude thing, which, by the way, black people can say things to white people all the time and they never get canceled. There's no backlashing about this. I want to live in a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly. And you will
well, go
not
on then,
have
say
free,
it. Say
you
the
will
M-
not have
Go on,
free speech.
go on. Say the M-word. Go on.
Please you need to stop. There are children. Please stop.
No.
Don't invite.
No.
No.
I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me, because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here, you and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and asking her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Piers. I understand what you're trying to do, but we already know she's racist, and I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there.
Oh, well, good to see Mark Lamont Hill kept his composure there as the N of Damocles just hung over his head for about 5 seconds, and he went mental. So that is a great place to leave the video here today. I think we've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I've explored my feelings to a great extent. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I think I've made it very clear where I stand. Or have I? Or is all this a joke? It's hard to say, isn't it, with me? If you've enjoyed the video, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, follow me on X, follow me on Instagram to know when I bring out a new video. If you want to join my Patreon and get some access to some exclusive videos and help me out with the channel even further than you already are doing, then you can do that. All the links are under this video. I'll see you in the next one.
I'm frequently misgendered, and I do not mean occasionally. It's a weekly occurrence. In January, I was misgendered 3 times in 1 2-hour train journey.
You expect a British jury to believe the testimony of a monstrous bull dyke of your standing?
I've been misgendered by staff of this house, misgendered whilst buying some jeans last week. It's genuinely a frequent issue for me, and a number of my lesbian friends.
A self-confessed lesbian.
I note the ministers yesterday saying that there will be guidance regarding the Supreme Court verdict, but actually that decision will have a huge impact on my life.
Her lesbotic tendencies are a matter of public record.
And many other cis lesbians and indeed heterosexual women.
An active, promiscuous and voracious lesbite.
I suspect I will get challenged even more now when accessing facilities. And whilst the impact on my life will be problematic,
Private acts of lesboid love have been committed.
the impact on my trans siblings' lives is going to be significantly worse.
You may stand down, Mr. Lesbian.